Alright, YouTube. 2024, November 16th. We are coming up on a Trump presidency, and that means mass deportations. You know, I'm really getting tired of this whole, oh, people are so nervous, they're so worried that their family's gonna get, deported and stuff like this, and we're gonna have to go. And okay, listen, I can't just move to another country. Okay, I have to do it. I have to get papers. I have to do all these things. I can't just go anywhere and just start working and living in a community, and then they're gonna welcome me and see me with a nice new job and a car, and they're gonna be like, oh, hey, how you doing, welcome. I'm gonna feel a little nervous. I'm gonna have to get used to that community, that country. Okay, especially if I went there and I just moved right in, and then plus, just imagine a bunch of, so let's say a bunch of Americans move to whatever country, and all of a sudden we're starting to move into their neighborhoods, and we're starting to take their jobs, and at the same time you're watching your people start to move out. What do you expect us to feel? Because that's the way we've been feeling for years now, especially the last 4 years. I can tell you right now, every American for the last 4 years especially has been feeling like our world's over, like our country is, we don't know what's happening. Okay, our borders are being flooded. People are talking invasion, this, that, military. We don't know what to think. We've been crapping our pants for the last 4 years, stressing out. Border patrols are committing suicide. Families being destroyed everywhere. Murders, rapes, kidnappings, drugs, fentanyl. And yet we're worried about people that came here illegally that might have to go back home because they came here illegally. Okay? And then on top of that, we've given you money, food, housing, cars, phone, healthcare, lawyers, school. At the same time, we can't afford housing, food, anything. It's ridiculous. I am absolutely upset. I'm sick of it. If you're legal, you're legal. If you're illegal, get your crap together. Do what you have to do now. Because I'm getting sick of it. Our country is literally going down the tube because of this. And you know it as much as I know it. Even the migrants that are here saying, I didn't come here to be in Venezuela. They see it. And if you've been here, living here for a while, but you're, 10 years, maybe you've been here 10 years, you're still illegal. What have you been doing the last 10 years? And even you see it. Look at our streets. Look at the communities that are just flipping. People don't even want to live in a democratic blue city anymore. They're fleeing like the plague. And now we're worried about this? No. Okay, we're going to do what we got. Trump won huge. America wants this. Every single swing state wants it. We all want it. We're tired of it. Listen, we love you, but do it correct. And you can't just pay a cartel $10,000, which is what Americans would love to have in their bank account right now to even be able to spend. And then expect that the cartel is going to deliver you into our country and now you're going to stay. Forever. Let's hear what Tom Holman got to say. Thank God for this man. Thank God for common sense. And you know what? I love everybody, but do it correct. I have a friend of mine. His wife just got, legal. Great job. did it correct. I respect that. But for all of you that's been here for so long and you haven't done a thing, I bet you signed up for free healthcare, free link card, free money, free housing, free this, free that, ID, everything. Free phone, jobs, up the yin-yang. But did you even once think about maybe getting your legal status in order?
I hear a lot of people say, the talk of a mass deportation is racist. It's threatening to the immigrant community. It's not threatening to the immigrant community. It should be threatening to the illegal immigrant community. But on the heels of a historic illegal immigration crisis, that has to be done.
What would the largest deportation in American history look like to you?
Well, let me tell you what's not going to be first. It's not going to be a mass sweep of neighborhoods. It's not going to be building concentration camps. I've read it all. It's ridiculous.
But if mass deportation is not going to be, as you said, massive sweeps and concentration camps, what is it?
There'll be targeted arrest.
He was also asked by our reporter there, what about separating families? He said families can be deported together. So let's bring in Bart Jansen right now on the stream for more on this. He's the Justice Department reporter for USA Today. What more do we know about his history on these immigration policies?
Yeah, let's bring up, oh, goodness gracious.
He was a bit of a lightning rod during Trump's
lightning rod. Yeah, why? Because he wants to enforce the law?
He was
you windbag.
When they had a zero
I bet you your neighbor doesn't have one problem, right? Of course not.
For asylum were
sick of it,
turned away, and that's what led to that.
Too bad.
It's called a family separation policy, because what in effect happened was if the parents were detained separately from children,
okay.
And families got separated, something like 5,000 or more children were separated from their parents.
Yeah, because then they come here and then they fucking make money and then they send money home, and the next thing you know, grandma, grandpa, cousin, second cousin, third cousin, stepbrother, brother, sister, uncle,
by many estimates. Stephen Miller,
uncle's uncle, uncle's cousin, grandma's grandchildren, stepbrother's family.
What he could bring to
it's ridiculous. When does it end?
Voters relative to immigration.
When does it end? And it won't end. And that's the whole point. And then you look at it. If we would have lost this election, we would have never had a fair election ever again. Because California's still counting votes right now. Still, to this day. What are we? A week past? The election was the 5th. It's 11 days later, they're still counting ballots. And you still have some states that the Republican won, the senator, and they're still saying, there's more votes out there, still more. And then on top of that, here's another thing people don't talk about. Senate seats are based on, or congressional seats, are based on how many people are living in certain states. Not American citizens, people. So now all of a sudden you have sanctuary cities, right? And say Chicago, like they say, only 47,000 migrants have come here, which anybody that has an eyes and a brain can tell you that is totally false. Chicago's population has doubled, easily doubled, within the past 4 years. And then on top of that, when you talk about 20 million people, they say 10, counting the gotaways, 12 million. But everyone says that's a very low estimate. It's probably more like 20 million. And you're going to tell me that out of 20 million people, only 47,000 are in Chicago, when Chicago's like the top 3 choice of sanctuary city? You got to think New York, LA, Chicago, right? Those are the top 3. So if 47,000 only went to Chicago, let's just say 50,000. New York says like 250,000 they took. Okay, so that's 300,000. LA, New York said they had the most, right? So they say 250,000. So let's just say LA has, let's just say 250,000 as well. So that's 500,000 between New York and LA. And then add the 50,000 that Chicago supposedly has, right? You're still at 500,000. 500,000. Where's the other 19.5 million people at? Where are they at? Where are they at? And so these windbags that get on this station and sit here in their remote work from home office, sitting in their perfectly well gated community that never sees a migrant ever, as they flood your city and neighborhoods with as many people as possible, just so they can maintain their status and their power, so they can continue to spew their windbag news sitting behind their desk at home in their well-gated community waiting for their Amazon grocery delivery. You know, telling you what's right and what's wrong. Okay? Their kid's not going to a school that, you know, the kid can't learn because there's 50 million kids in the classroom and they got to translate you got to have 2-3 teachers there because every time the teacher talks, now the translator has to talk. Okay, and then probably another translator too, right? At least one translator. Can you imagine that? So you got the math teacher saying, all right, everybody, 1 + 1 is 2. And then the translator goes, oh, ¿cuántos uno y uno es dos? You know, and it's over and over. Just imagine that. What's your kid going to learn? I mean, your kid might learn Spanish before they learn math. And it's ridiculous. People are losing jobs at the speed of light. Chicago's lost so many businesses, it's crazy. Nobody wants to open a business here because the crime's so bad. And now they want to tell you about what's right and what's wrong. When people are fleeing these cities at the speed of light, they cannot stand it anymore. They're just fleeing them. I mean, if I was a foreign country and I was trying to invade it and take over a country, or if I was a tyrannical government trying to take over the people of a country, you know, this would be the best way to do it. Just make the big cities that make America run, make them so unlivable that all the Americans leave, and then bring in all these new people to work. And now when you hire them, give them half of what you were giving the Americans, right? Half. So now if you're a corporation, you done cut your revenue or cut your payroll budget in half. So again, Americans losing. What about the families of Americans that have lost their lives, lost their town, lost their city, lost their home because they had to flee this problem that just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And it basically looks like it was done just to win the election and get more, you know, congressional seats. I tell you what, as soon as the election came and Trump won, the huge barracks camps where they were keeping all the migrants disappeared. Disappeared immediately. So it's almost like, okay, we wanted to win the election, we didn't. So now, you know, we're just going to close the thing down. And I don't know if it's just to make it harder to deport them, because now they all got to run away and hide. You know, they can't just be in one spot, because then if they were in one spot, then, you know, Tom Homan could just send, you know, right to the one big huge building where there's tons of them. No, you know, they want to make this as hard as possible on Trump. This is the whole point. They don't want us to get used to a good standard of living. Everybody remembers how good it was from 2016 to 2020. They don't want you to remember that lifestyle. They don't want you to get used to it, because then you're going to expect that. Okay? So we went from having the greatest economy, and then what did the Democrats give us? The worst economy. Okay? They don't want us getting used to having a great life. They want us used to being broke and having nothing because they want to be able to take all your money and do what they want to do with it. Pay who they want to pay, incentivize what they want to incentivize, and make sure their way of life stays the same. Okay? They don't want us getting used to good Trump. So this way, the more chaos they cause, now Trump has to clean up a mess. He can't focus on making America great again. So that's why having all these key people that he's picking is important. Because Trump needs to be able to do Trump. Okay? And he needs to have his people do the things he tells them and puts them in to do. And by the way, these people that he's getting wants the same thing Trump wants. Just like the people that voted Trump in wants him to do. Alright? Trump won in a massive landslide. So this is not a small minority of people wanting this. People in America, almost every single state wants this. I looked at the map, and there's only like a few blue spots here and there on the entire USA map. Everything else is red. This is what America wants. We don't want Venezuela. We want America. And all they're trying to do is discourage and discourage and discourage and keep messaging this because they don't want you to have a good life and get used to that good life with Trump. And so the harder they can make it for Trump, they figure the less great results we'll be able to see in our life. The less money increase we'll see. The less job opportunities we'll see. Because then when they get back in office, right, they can go back to taking everything from us again and this and that, and they want us used to that. Wars all the time and scared and our borders open and who's living next to us. Oh my gosh, fear every day. Fear, suffering, worry, anxiety, as opposed to security, opportunity, retirement, good health care, safe neighborhoods. It's really ridiculous. This is really good versus evil. But Tom Homan, don't let them stop you. Do what you got to do. And if you're an illegal, get your SHIT in order. Get your SHIT in order. All right, everyone. I'm out.